Hello and welcome back to MonStars of Rock, the LORDI Story. I'm Matthew Kessie and you're listening to our second bonus episode of Summer 22. And this time around, it's an exclusive, a first ever interview with Lordi's newest member, the Borg on the axe, the Nightmare Machine K1. It's KONE. And I'm not going to delay it any further because I'm sure you are all eager to hear the man. So, here you go. Obviously, you've hit kind of started your live performance side of Lordy there about a week or so ago, performing at the Rock in the City gigs, in festival gigs in Finland. So this was obviously your first chance to kind of stand up in front of thousands of people, I presume, and play as a part of Lordy. So what was that experience like for you coming into the band?
It was amazing, really. The first gigs were something that I really kind of, I very much looked forward to them, and I was also pretty scared of them, you know.
Yeah.
Because I seriously did not know what it's going to be like on stage with the costume and everything, and I could not really know how the fans would react.
Yeah.
And that actually was the first Lordy show I ever saw.
Really? So I don't remember. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of had the best seat in the house. But that was an amazing experience. The first show in Kuopio, I kind of psyched myself to a zen-like state of mind, and I was really not at all nervous before the gig. But when we went on stage, and I noticed my legs were trembling like crazy, and I kind of, during Get Heavy, I kind of realized that, wow, this is so cool. This is the best. And seeing all the fans in the crowd, they were going crazy right from the beginning. Yeah. And it's so cool to see that.
That's awesome, man. And I guess obviously with the costume, had you worn the costume at all previously to like play guitar? Because I know you did the photo shoot and everything, but had you performed any songs in it before you went on stage?
Yeah. We had like two rehearsals with me in the costume.
Right. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So it was like that was like the baptism almost.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it's quite different wearing the. I'm playing with the costume on stage and playing with it, you know, on rehearsal.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And the heat is amazing. I mean, that's a crazy experience.
Yeah, Jesus. And especially with all the fireworks and the lights and all that as well.
The show in Vanda was just insane with the sun shining directly on the stage and the pyrotechnics and everything.
God. You'd definitely come off the stage a few pounds lighter anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's been a good workout.
Yep.
So, you come into Lordy with your own unique style and everything, and people have been fortunate to hear you play so far in Finland at the two festivals you performed at up to this point. But kind of looking back on your own musical interests, like, can you remember when you kind of got into music when you were younger?
Yeah, I kind of can. Or can't. Yeah. I have some glimpses from like very very early childhood, and I was always very much interested about music when I was, you know, like a toddler. And I do remember when I was like 4 or 5, I was really already like way into music, and I was listening to the radio and whenever we were in a car with my mom or dad, and there were all sorts of sorts of people around me at that point who were somewhat in music business or something, or people who played drums or guitar and stuff like that. So I was very much influenced by all kinds of stuff like that. And I really, I think when I was something like 8 or 9, I went to my first guitar classes. I got my first guitar when I was 5.
Nice. Okay.
But I think I'm very fortunate that I did not attend guitar classes at the age of 5. I think I would have never done it after that. But at the ripe age of 8 or 9, I still can't remember. I think I was kind of ready for it. I had just discovered, heavy metal and Iron Maiden and stuff like that.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. And I'm guessing Iron Maiden your favorite band then?
Yeah, obviously. Yes.
Yeah. And how did you get into it then? Like, how did you get into Iron Maiden?
We had this good group of friends in school, and one day at school somebody just said that, "Hey guys, we're going to start listening to heavy metal right now," and that was it. Somebody had, borrowed a CD from the library or something, and then somebody had an iTunes on their computer and their dad's, password.
Right.
so I think somebody stole their dad's money to buy some heavy metal songs on iTunes back then.
Very good. And in terms of obviously your musical interests and your musical kind of, how would you say, influences, when I spoke to Mr. Lordy previously, he said that you're not really kind of like a heavy metal dude. You're kind of a bit more kind of varied than that. So obviously Iron Maiden being one of your influences, what other kind of guitar icons or other bands have kind of influenced your style?
Aside from all the heavy metal stuff, I mean, like Megadeth has lately been very good, and stuff like Def Leppard or Kiss, obviously.
Yeah.
I think you really need to love Kiss when you're in this band.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
But and I must mention Eddie Van Halen is obviously the guitar hero of the world, I think.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I really much enjoy a lot of different music styles, like ranging from all guitar music, obviously, but I mean, I do also like country music or jazz music or stuff like that.
Nice.
And some older music, like 50s or 60s rock and roll and stuff like that.
Yeah. So far, there was a real emphasis on the guitar then.
Yeah. Well, I have never really really gotten into music that does not have guitar until lately.
Nice.
Lately, that I've been trying to wrap my head around some jazz music, but I think that's a different story.
Yeah. Oh, good. And with you obviously being a guitarist, and people will have a lot of experience coming into Lordy and playing. Like there's very few people that have been in Lordy that have not performed in other bands previously. So had you been in many bands before Lordy, or anyone's kind of a similar size to Lordy as a kind of a group?
I really have not been in a band near the size of this group.
Right.
So from that point of view, I'm kind of a novice. I mean, I have played around a lot, but I really have not played in a heavy metal band. I mean, I like to think of Lordy as a heavy metal band.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to play in a heavy metal band. I played in a sort of a rock band when I was a teenager, and I was always trying to take it to a heavy metal kind of road, but
Yeah.
it did not happen. And I've been working as a freelance musician, so I've done a ton of different different kind of stuff.
And is that how you kind of got to know people in the band then, through that?
Yeah, I from jobs at my freelancer guitarist life, I got to know one person closely related to one person in the band.
Right.
So that was my link to the band.
Okay, right. And obviously, had you heard of Lordy much? Because I know, obviously, in Finland they won Eurovision and all that, and nobody in Finland's kind of really gonna not know of Lordy. But can you remember when you first either heard their music or heard of them?
I really don't remember when I first heard their music, but I do remember that I was very much aware of Lordy before the Eurovision.
Okay.
Yeah. I think around Monster Dream, when all the kids already knew about Lordy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the time when people still kind of bought albums and CDs.
Yeah, and physical ones. Yeah.
A friend of physical albums, and a friend of mine had, I think he had Monster Dream, and we a group of friends used to go to his house just to listen to Monster Dream and stare at the album cover.
Nice. Yeah, because it's a pretty cool cover, that album. So.
Yeah, and I mean, there was really nothing like that in Finland, and I mean, we were aware of Kiss and stuff like that, but nothing looked quite similar as Lordy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it really had an impact.
Okay, right, and having kind of come into Lordy, you're coming into the band in a kind of a difficult situation, at that point to kind of come in, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But how did you eventually kind of come into the band? Because I know I spoke to Mr. Lordy about it, and we spoke about it a little bit, but how did the opportunity kind of come your way to be Lordy's guitarist?
The link between me and the band had recommended me when the slot opened, kind of when Eamon left, and they were looking for a new guitarist, and I simply got a phone call from Mr. Lordy himself.
Right.
And the next day, we spoke like for 2 hours when he first called me, and the next morning I filmed myself playing the volume from Abracadabra.
Cool. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and a few hours from that, I got a group video phone call from the whole band saying that you're in the band, if that's okay. And it was kind of a shock. I was still on the fence about that, because it's a huge life changing thing for me. Really.
Yeah.
And I was kind of frightened that, holy fuck, what have I done? you know, like this is going to change so much things. Yeah. But I got the group video call, and I don't think I actually said that. Yeah, I'm in. But now after the first 2 gigs, I guess I'm in then.
Yeah, you've got no choice now. You're there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And did you have to do any like physical rehearsals then? Like, when you met up with the band, and did you play a couple of songs? Because I believe Tommy said that it was the kind of one of the songs you played with them, as far as I can remember, was "It Snows in Hell," and that the solo will sound exactly like it does on the albums now and the live performance.
Yeah, I sent another video for Mr. Lordy. That was the Snows in Hell solo.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and it was super cool because also being a Kiss fan, having duties to play a solo by Bruce Kulick is pretty awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. We did not have like a face-to-face audition, but it only took, I think, like a week or two. Then we went to a rehearsal space to play with Mana and Easy.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and that was amazing. I mean, after the first phone calls, I was just so much waiting to get to the playing.
Yeah, and to actually feel like you're in the band. I'd say.
I was so excited. I was so excited to really, go through all the songs and get to know how to play the stuff, and getting all the gear immediately that I need and everything.
And I'm guessing, obviously, you've listened to a lot of the Lordy stuff now as you are in the band and everything. And is there any particular album or any songs that have really stood out to you that you would love to kind of play live now that you're in the group?
There's a lot of them. I mean, the Lordy catalog is such huge.
Especially since Lordiversity now as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's almost 20 albums, and none of the albums actually suck, which is kind of rare for a band that has so much albums.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of songs that I've been trying to kind of drop in discussions. How about this? And but so far, the latest song that I've been really much into was Down with the Devil from MonStars of Rock.
Yeah,
that's an amazing, just a kick-ass song. And then Scare Force 1 album has so many good songs.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bad song on that album.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant album. And you obviously coming into Lordy, it was a difficult situation to kind of come in, an inevitable situation really from anyone that's close to the band or has spoken to the band or knows of everyone's experience, and that's obviously Eamon's departure from the group.
Yes.
And it was obviously a make or break situation for the group for him to either go or to stay. And you come into this situation at a point where fans are upset with Eamon going, because he was obviously a founding member of the recording group since the late 90s, and then you're coming into this situation, you're Lordy's new guitarist. So what's your mindset and focus? Because I know you're not coming in to replace Eamon, because you're coming in as a new individual, but what is your focus in taking over from Eamon?
It's really it's a tough place for anyone, because I know there will always be people who just won't accept it, and I get that. I obviously understand being upset, because I know that he was the favorite character from the band to a lot of people, and it's really not it's not my job to, just like you said, I'm not replacing him. Nobody can replace an original in a band like this. my job is really to create the new space, and do the best I can, and respect all the legacy that he left in the band. He had a huge footprint in the sound and the visual appearances of the band and everything, and I need to respect that. And also I think I can't be a copycat, and I really need to be aware of me not trying to emulate him, because that would be, I think that would be pretty wrong for the fans.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a new character, and I must create my own sort of path with the band.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think it's important as well, because when Lordy kind of gets new members, it's also very exciting at the same time, because it's a new person coming in, a new style, different types of solos that we'll hear on albums, and that and you coming in gives a different kind of energy to the group. And from what Mr. Lordy was saying, you coming into the group is almost as like when Mana and Hella came in, because they gave almost a shot of energy, a shot of adrenaline to the band, something different, and it changed the style. And Mr. Lordy said the same about you coming in, so that it's kind of, you coming in you will be able to do things differently to Eamon, or things that maybe Eamon wouldn't have done, and that will progress Lordy's music to another level. So it provides different opportunities for the band, and I think that's what fans should really be excited about. That's what I'm excited about anyway. So.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm excited about too.
Yeah.
I mean, things have been pretty kind of, everything has a very positive vibe right now in the band.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, and things have not always been like that in the band. Obviously, with all sorts of tragedies and stuff that's happened in the past.
Yeah.
I think it's like a fresh new page in the band's history right now.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I could not be happier to be part of it, and being a part of what kind of lifts everybody's spirit.
Yeah.
And I hope I'll stay that way. Yeah, because I'm really aside from all the disappointment from the fans that Eamon left, I'm really kind of, this is a very good situation for me in the band. I mean, the band seems excited that there's some kind of refreshment going on, and things are looking good. Yeah.
And obviously, you coming into the band, I think probably one of the most exciting and unique things about Lordy is that when someone new comes in, we also get a new character. It's not just a new person.
Yes.
And that's always probably that, and when a new album comes out, I think we all look forward to seeing the new costumes and everything. So you come in to Lordy as what from Mr. Lordy described to me, a Borg, and from Star Trek, almost taking influence from that, like a cyborg character, robotic in nature and that. And did you have much of a kind of a say on the character? Because I know Miss Lordy kind of likes to hone in on people's interests and their personalities and kind of reflect them through the character that they are going to take upon. So what influence did you have on being KONE?
We had long discussions about my character, right almost immediately after I was taken into the band, and this is obviously all this was all new to me, and I really felt like an idiot sometimes when I just did not understand that. Oh, that's possible. Oh, okay. Well, all right. a monster or a horror character was the Somewhere in Time Eddie Iron Maiden album.
Okay, right.
And I think that for me that was the most important thing in my character. There was a lot of different terms thrown about, mostly zombies and cyborgs,
Right.
and those were things that I've always liked and found very cool, and that stuff just works so good with Lordy.
Very cool. And obviously you're being kind of like a Borg type character. Did you have any interest in Star Trek then at all, or was that kind of just Mr. Lordy kind of throwing his influence into it?
I think that was Mr. Lordy. I did mention Star Wars
Right.
a few times.
Okay.
Yeah, I always loved the look of stormtroopers and stuff like that, and kind of anything aesthetically in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, that's kind of my thing or something.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And so actually, now that you speak about it, because I know Obi-Wan Kenobi's kind of coming towards an end on Disney, what have you thought of the kind of the Star Wars TV series like Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett?
I have not watched them.
Really? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't watched them yet. I think I should.
Yes, they are. They're awesome. They're brilliant. So,
Yeah, great. I really need to watch them because I have found out that after you say that you like Star Wars, everybody's going to ask you questions about it. And then if I haven't seen something, everybody's going to laugh at me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, I don't think Mr. Lordy's watched them either, so like I know I've spoken to him about it as well, and he's been kind of he might have watched them now, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we should watch them on the tour.
Yes, ideal time to watch them. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And talking about kind of influences, Lordy are a horror band, obviously as well. They have a lot of stage theatrics, and the music is very horrific, and the lyrics and everything. And have you any interest in horror movies or anything like that?
Oh yeah, totally.
Right, okay.
I love horror movies, and especially the older ones.
Well, they're the best ones.
Yeah, and all the old zombie movies are great.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, so it's been kind of like a familiar thing for me. So, like I believe that the visuals and stuff in Lordy might be a bit different for a person who doesn't like horror movies.
Yes.
But liking them really kind of opens the whole thing up a bit more.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely does. And in terms of horror movies, I'm guessing a lot of the George A. Romero stuff is kind of the ones that kind of stand out to you then.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, they're awesome ones. Especially, I think Day of the Dead is probably the one I like the best anyway, Day of the Dead. But I guess kind of wrapping up, man, you obviously joining Lordy, it gives you different opportunities, opens up a whole new world to you.
Yeah, totally.
But what I'd like to ask is, what do you want to achieve with Lordy? Is there anything that you think that you'd like to be able to do in the next couple of years, or any goals that you'd like to set with the band?
That's a tough question. I mean, I think I have no idea what more the band can achieve. I mean, I would love for us to tour and release an album after an album.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the stuff that Lordy has been doing for the last 20 years. And if it was for me, I would do it all over again.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I hope we can do this a lot.
Yeah. Hopefully, there's no more pandemics in the way to stop us.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm very much looking forward to doing something new music with Lordy.
Yeah.
It's a very very creative bunch of musicians, and a lot of kind of similar but still different influences from everybody.
Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to say, Gunnar, before we finish up for fans?
Yeah, not really. No, I really don't know what to say. It's been heartwarming to have. I've had a very much positive welcome to the band. The fans have been kind of very much open for my character, and yeah, I've been very much blessed with that. I feel very much very good with all the fans sending me messages on Instagram and stuff like that. It's amazing, really.
Cool.
Yeah, so thank you everybody for that.
Huge thanks to KONE for his time and for the opportunity to be the first to interview him as a member of Lordy. You can of course catch Lordy on their Summer Get Heavy 20 celebration tour across Europe this summer. At the time of release, Lordy have about 8 festivals remaining and have just performed at Castle Rock in Mulheim in Germany. So make sure to check them out and go if you can, because you surely will not want to miss them. For me, that is it for the time being though, and of course we'll be back in the coming months with more episodes possibly, but you'll have to wait and see. We're also still working on our new podcast series, which is Nordically inspired, but it will still be a while till we can reveal more on that. Until next time, I've been Matthew Kessie, this has been MonStars of Rock, the Lordy Story, and you can keep calm and listen the fuck out of Lordy.
MonStars of Rock, the Lordy Story is a true metal podcast production. The show is presented, produced and written by Matthew Kessie. Head to True Metal Pod's social channels to keep up to date with the production.